Okay, so let's talk about something every single person goes through, puberty. And I want you to try thinking about it a little differently. Forget the scary mystery stuff. Think of it more like your body getting its biggest, most important software update ever. All right, let's get into it.
You ever have those moments where you feel like your body just has a mind of its own? Like it's suddenly doing things that feel a bit weird, maybe a little awkward, or just plain confusing? If that sounds familiar, listen. The number one thing I want you to know is this. You are so not alone.
And that's because this whole thing, it's a completely universal journey. It's not just happening to you in a vacuum. Nope. It's a fundamental part of life for literally everyone on the planet.
So what do we even mean when we say puberty? Well, it's really just the official name for this totally natural and super important stage of life. It's that time when our bodies go through a whole bunch of changes, physical, emotional, hormonal, you name it, all to get us ready for adulthood. It's just part of the human instruction manual.
You know, if you're a gamer, this is going to make perfect sense. Just think of puberty as your body leveling up. It's an upgrade, right? It unlocks new features and gets you prepped for the next big stage of your life. So all these changes, they're not a glitch, they're part of the design. All right, so what's actually going on under the hood here? What's the engine that's driving all this change? Well, the answer is pretty cool, and it's all about science. The reason for this whole body-wide update comes down to these tiny but incredibly powerful chemical messengers that are traveling all through your body. They're called hormones, and their whole job is to deliver instructions that basically tell your body, okay, it's time to go.
Now, there are two main messengers that take the lead here. And while everybody has some of both, one of them usually steps up to run the show during puberty. For girls, the main hormone calling the shots is estrogen. And for boys, it's testosterone. You can almost think of them as the project managers for your body's big renovation.
Okay, so we know the why. It's hormones. But what about the what? What actually happens? Let's put a spotlight on the kinds of changes you can probably expect.
So the changes look different for everyone, but the transformation is huge no matter who you are. For girls, estrogen gets things going with the start of menstruation, getting your period. That's just the body's natural cycle, preparing for the possibility of having kids way down the line. It also leads to breast development and changes in body shape, like your hips getting wider. Now for boys, testosterone is what makes the voice get deeper, as the voice box, or larynx, grows. It's also what kicks off the growth of hair on your face and body, and it's the fuel behind those massive growth spurts. And things like wet dreams, also a completely normal part of this whole deal. Of course, some stuff like getting acne or feeling like your moods are all over the place, that's pretty common for everybody. The main takeaway here is that everyone's update is unique, but we are all going through a major one.
Okay, so if all of this is so natural and it happens to every single one of us, why on earth is it sometimes so hard to talk about? Let's tackle that one, because it's a biggie. A huge piece of the puzzle is this. In our culture, talking about these things is often seen as taboo. And a taboo is really just an unspoken social rule that says, nope, we don't talk about that. For way too long, puberty has been stuck in that category, and honestly, that doesn't help anyone. And the thing about this silence is that it creates a vacuum. And that empty space, it just gets filled with negative stuff. Without good information, we're just left confused. It can make you feel ashamed or scared, like you're some kind of weirdo for going through it. And maybe worst of all, silence is the perfect breeding ground for myths and total misunderstandings. So, what's the fix? How do we fight back against all that? It's actually incredibly simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. We just need to talk about it. That's it. Starting a conversation shatters the taboo and replaces all that fear and confusion with knowledge and, confidence.
So let's get really practical. Knowing all this is one thing, but what can you actually do with this info, like right now? This last part is all about your path forward.
Here's a super clear 3-step game plan. First, and this one is huge, really let this sink in. What is happening to you is normal and natural. There is nothing wrong with you. Got it? Okay. Second, find an adult you trust, a parent, a guardian, a teacher, a school nurse, an older cousin, and talk to them. Ask your questions, tell them how you're feeling. And third, please remember that professionals are there to help. If any change feels really worrying or just seems unusual to you, it is always a good idea to talk to a doctor.
And I just want to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What if we could completely flip the script on this whole experience?
What if, instead of treating all these changes like there's some big secret we have to hide, we saw them for what they really are? Powerful, visible signs that we're growing up, that we're getting stronger, and that we're becoming the amazing adults we're meant to be.